Birmingham, Britain's second city and industrial capital of England, famed for its fast-paced living and multicultural environment. Birmingham is one of the busiest cities in Europe. At its heart, Birmingham is home to the way of living and untouched tranquility, offering an escape from the average life of Britain. Around the 18th century, Birmingham's canals were amongst the busiest in the world, transporting goods, materials and the people to the heart of the industrial capital. At its height, 174 miles of canal crisscross through the city. Now only 114 miles exist. We're here now to take a journey through the waterway system and how it helped build Britain. Without Birmingham's canals, Britain wouldn't be the technological nation it is today. It allowed transporting goods such as iron, copper and coal and helped build the production industry in Birmingham. Even long past its prime, the Birmingham waterway system kept their well-renowned status as the longest canal system in the world, even longer than the picturesque canals of Venice. I went to meet Tony Harvey, head of West Midland British Waterways, an organisation dedicated to the upkeep and regeneration of the Birmingham Canal System.
British Waterways is here to look after the canals and keep them in good state of repair. So we spend a lot of money and time looking after the locks and canals, making sure the water levels are maintained, but also mainly looking after our customers today, which is a really important focus for us. There's around about 35,000 boats registered on the canals and rivers that we manage, and we're looking forward to the next few years where we'll become a charity ourselves and set up the Canal and River Trust later this summer. And all those boaters will be an important part of the network, but also the people that live alongside and have interest in the canals themselves. Lots of things happen on the water and around it. Nowadays we have boating festivals or activities that go on the water, but people like to be beside it, and today we have many shopping developments or regeneration projects, but people just like to come along just sometimes and feed the ducks and have a quiet time. In 1968 we were formed to try and do something with the canals and try to bring them back into use to some extent, but they were in a pretty poor state of repair at that time. Well, today the canals provide a real opportunity for regeneration and development alongside the water, and they're a very popular place to be. Not too far away from here we've got Brindley Place, which is a very successful regeneration project that sits alongside the canal and takes full advantage of it. The canals around Birmingham connected Liverpool to London, and the crossroads of the country lies here in the centre of Birmingham, so they're very important from a heritage perspective. Historically, they're one of the first canals to be built in and around Birmingham.
Tony told me a lot about the history of the canals, but I wanted to find out more about the people who actually live on it. The canals are well known as a tourist attraction. We met a family of South Africans at Factory Locks who told me a little bit more about life on the waves and the attraction as a holiday destination.
Yeah, we took the boat from Rose's Narrowboats up in Rugby, and we were proceeding down to Stratford-on-Avon, then onto the Avon River, down to Tewkesbury, and then from Tewkesbury we were going up the Severn. And last year we spent 2 weeks on the boat. We went down the Oxford Canal. This time we decided we're going to be more adventurous, and we're going to spend 4 weeks on it because we enjoyed it so much. They have been doing up these canals over the past 20 odd years or so, and they're renewing them all the time, so they really are doing a fantastic job. And if you look, these canals were first built in 1760 odd, the first of the canals. So you've got your original engineering, 300-year-old engineering, which is quite incredible, and it still works, everything still works.
While the women have to do the hard work unlocking each of the 2-ton gates, the men sit comfortably and stare.
This is quite a nice easy gate to close, not like some of them. And a lot of them are over a ton, these gates. So to have them quite nicely hinged really help.
With the locks open, it's time for Skipper Peter to steer the boat through the narrow canals, which apparently is a lot harder than it seems.
The locks have generally got a 7 foot wide, so it means you've got 6 inches on either side of you. So it's quite tricky getting into these locks, and one just has to take care.
Here at Gas Street Basin, it is the central area where all the narrowboats come to moor their boats. It is not the biggest and most exciting nowadays, but at its peak it was the hive of activity and used to field hundreds and hundreds of narrowboats.
After talking to Tony from the British Waterways and the friendly South African family that gave me an insight to the happenings around the canal, I also talked to Ivor Kaplan about the Birmingham Canal Navigation Society, a society formed and frequented by many canal enthusiasts.
Right, good to see you. The BCN Society is an organisation which really promotes and supports the whole of these canals, and we got involved in it some years ago, and I'm now the secretary of the organisation. We were founded some 40 years ago, really, when these canals were in a very poor condition. You know, after the war, with the decline of transport, really all the commercial traffic left the waterways, and canals like this were in a great risk, really, of just disappearing. Nobody really wanted them. They didn't seem to serve any purpose. And it was canal societies like the BCN Society who realised that if somebody didn't do something to promote them, it really wouldn't happen. And since then, really, we've worked to promote these canals, working with British Waterways and the local authorities, really, to get more money in it and to gradually regenerate the whole area. Well, we always say that the Birmingham canals are the centre of the whole network, because in this country canals go everywhere, but they really come together in Birmingham. And really the history around about the 1770s, when they started thinking about canals, there was the great idea of the Grand Cross. And this was a cross really linking up the main rivers in the country. And they came together in Birmingham because Birmingham was a city then that was developing industry, was really building at a great rate. But the one thing he didn't have was a proper river. And transport was very poor in those days, so they relied on water transport. So the industrialists in Birmingham realised that it was really important to have all the canals. So all the raw products and the coal and everything could be brought into Birmingham, and then the finished products could really go anywhere from there, right to any part of the country. Well, the canals this year are in a big change, because the British Waterways, that's been the government organisation responsible for managing all the canals, is really changing in the next couple of months to a Canal and River Trust. And this trust will be really important because it's a whole new idea to bring localism to canals, really to involve local people a lot more. So it's really a lot that the BCNS has been doing over the years. We think that, with the new Canal and River Trust, that'll really increase, and we're already looking at organising work parties, not just of our members, but getting local schools and youth groups and everybody involved. So it'll be much more a matter of the local community sort of, owning their canal.
These canals help shape Britain and how it works today. Sadly, they've been replaced by train tracks and roads, and unfortunately, the waterways are really only used by pleasure users and tourists.